Okay, so hello and welcome back to another Unity video. In this one it's going to be an update video on my game, which has been a while since the last one I think, and I've done a lot of stuff since, so I want to go through what I've been doing and what I'm going to do next, as well as taking suggestions I usually do for what people want to see, or if there's anything I'm curious about, or, having, not problems, but, well, yeah, if I have problems coming up with ideas. So for example, the rock curl spell shatters into rock fragments, I'd be asking what people think I should do around a spell that uses those rock fragments. So, for example, forming like a golem out of the rocks, or making the rocks fly an enemy, or so on. There will be a bit of that this game as well. This video, I'll be asking about that. So I'll just get into it. Now, the first thing you'll notice is I've made the game third person, which was quite a big transition. It wasn't big in the sense of like hard to do, but some people would just say, well, have it toggleable, but then that would just cause more problems. There would be, because having a first-person view and designing around a third-person view is completely different. So I'm going to keep it third-person, actually. I like it much more. Now, obviously, yeah, the player doesn't exactly... he's not set up for third-person, right? He doesn't have, like, proper movement, but you'll see what I've been doing, and I'll explain it bit by bit. One thing I want to mention right now before I forget is thanks to the free Patreons that have been supporting me: Shaggy Rogers, Phil Bourne, and Paul Robinson. If anyone else wants to help support me on Patreon, the link's in the description. But apart from that, let's get into it. So, what do we have? Well, from last time, one thing I've done, well, I'll just go through, not in order of me doing it, just what I can remember. The first thing is spells. So, I currently have 6 out of the 7 tier 1 spells made. Now, obviously, yeah, I'm going to improve them and tweak them, but they're done, at least for now. I haven't made the light one, and I will be asking what people want for that one, because I've had different ideas, and obviously if you think they're good ideas, then sure, but like, I'll discuss that in a second. So we've got Fire Blast, you've seen already. So click Fire, boom. We've got Ice Shot, so that obviously deals damage and applies a dot. This one moves a lot faster. Also, I only made nice visuals for this one, but I made those before I even switched to third person, so for the rest I've just kept simply just making the spells work before I make them look cool. So the Ice Shard moves fast, does lower damage. Obviously at the moment it doesn't really seem to do any damage. I'll increase that. About when it gets to around Christmas time in December, I'll be doing in the server like playtesting. So I'll build a kind of like playtesting scene. This is just me messing around, but I'll build like a proper scene with things to do, and then people can play through it and then test things out and give their own feedback and so on, and like balance changes, and just so I can get a feedback on what people want. So, yeah, the Ice Shard, there's no enemy move speed yet, like the enemies don't move, but they have a move speed variable, which when I do this, it applies a percentage slow, and then for a few seconds and it ends. It works. I've tested it in the editor when you can see variables. We've got the Gust one, which is air single target, and it does knock back around the area. So it only damages the first target it hits, but if these enemies are all clumped up, then it would... knock them away from each other. So I'm going to quickly just like awkwardly shove them together. Obviously they're capsules, so this is not the easiest task to do. Is nearly that. So yeah, if they're all together and I hit the middle one, it should knock them away. Yeah. So that works as intended. Also, yeah, if you hit something on the underside, obviously it'll go up a bit. Then arcane missiles, so obviously it just sends out like multiple homing low damage missiles like so. I quite like the spell actually. Then we've got Corruption, which is just a point and click damage over time spell. So like, say I click that enemy at the back, it locks onto that enemy, and it goes and applies the dot to them, which does a ridiculous amount of damage right now, but damage doesn't matter right now. It's got low cooldown. You can keep it applied to enemies pretty easily. I've also removed XP orbs and just decided to add the XP onto the player's health because it was just a lot easier to do and it made more sense. And then obviously a rock curl we already had, so you can click on the ground and it flies to the enemy, or you can be on Earth and click on an enemy and it spawns it from around you. So that works. What else have we got? Well, we have got the bow, which we already had. Oh. Have I just found a bug? Okay. I have. That's interesting. I found a dupe bug. Well, as I say on these videos, I always manage to find bugs that I don't find when I'm testing myself, and then like I can go fix them, so that's quite nice to know. I added an ammunition bar. Rather than having to have it on your hotbar and always checking and using up space in your hotbar, I've decided, yeah, what is going on here? Well, there we go. That's interesting. So yeah, let's put them... Wow, I don't seem to be able to drag them onto my ammunition bar. Well, that's awkward because now I can't actually fire the bow. Well, I hope you can take my word for it. The bow usually does work, and to be honest... Oh. So I can put it onto the last slot, and it fires. How about fire arrows? I can drop from it. I can shoot the fire arrows, so that they have the little fire trail. That's interesting. I need to look into that. There's quite a few bugs that don't happen when I first test it, and then as soon as I do something else, it breaks it. Which, if you make games as well, you understand the pain. But yeah, so that's that. We've obviously got saving game, which already existed. What else have we got? We have now got NPCs I've kind of started making. So this is what I'm currently working on as we speak. Like, outside this video, I've been just making the NPC system. I've started off making it. So obviously, it's an interactable just like this. So speak with Bill, speak with Bob, whatever. And if you press E on them, it opens up the little panel. The cursor is released and you can't move or anything. And then you get, I just made this little X button just for now. This is like an icon, which could be like the person's face or something. Just an icon on the UI. This is all temporary. And it says their name. And then this is where all the possible things you can do with them. So like clicking for dialogue or whatever you want. Just all the stuff will be here. And then when you're done, you press close, or I'll make the X button work. The escape button, sorry. And now this is Bob, right? So it's like Bob thingy. And then if I go and speak to this one, it changes it to Bill and the icon I chose for him. So you can very easily go between NPCs, and it works using one part of the UI. It just fills in the data from the NPC. So it's just a thing I need to build up upon. But the thing I want to ask is, for the light spell, what I originally had we had a few ideas. One, you click on the enemy, and it marks them, and then for a certain amount of time, if you hit them, it heals you, right? So you get basically healed you get healing from attacking the marked enemy. Another one we chose was like just a root or snare, so like it fires off a thing that snares the enemy, or maybe even just point and click. We also thought of one where you click on them and it does no damage, but it marks them to take more or something. We just, me and my friends have been discussing it, and we couldn't really come up with a good idea for it. So rather than me making one of the ideas and just like going with that, I decided to wait until we actually know what we want to do before we do it. But yeah, I think that might be most things actually. So wait, I've gone through all the spells. So obviously, yeah, I'll work on the next tier spells at some point, but right now it's the NPC system. Item equipping and everything works. I can put on my hotbar, go to that slot, try and use a health potion. I'm on full health. Obviously, the problem at the moment, for some reason, is to do with dragging items. So I can remove my spells. I can drop everything. Pick up the bow. Put that there. And then it duplicates. Well, I'll see why that is. That's interesting. Now we've got loads of bows. It'll be a simple fix, something I just accidentally missed when I was messing around with folders, files, whatever. And yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to wait before actually making the spell with the rock fragments, or whether I'm going to make multiple spells that use them. But yeah, they will time out after a while, so that they don't, just clog up the world like they are right now. Or they'll use a projectile object pool, spawning pool, which I'm going to do a video on soon actually. It's just an efficient way, rather than instantiating projectiles every time you need them. You can already have them in the scene and then kind of call upon them. I'll do a video on it. So what else is there to discuss? Well, yeah, I'm going to start making the NPC system modular to the point where I can make an NPC object, so this is him, whatever, he's in the scene, give him the script, and then I can just decide what he is, right? So I can be like, alright, you're a save location, so rather than the cube, I can make it so you can save for NPCs. I'll have a button for that, and I'll have a button for open like vendor inventory, and then I'll have one for quest journal, and then I'll have one for so on and so on and so on. And then I'm thinking, for terms of layout, I'm not sure I'm going to do the UI for it, whether like you click on it here and then this panel goes away and it puts it on the screen, or whether this stays open and it does it on the rest of the screen, or so on. Obviously I'm open for suggestions, like anything anyone wants to suggest for it. same with spells and items and just generally content. It's all a work in progress, so I need to keep making obviously, yeah, I'm keep making progress anyway. If I quickly see, have I got my thing open? What have I got to do next? Create NPC system, vendor, dialogue, quest manager. See, there's quite a few things to do. Yeah, create a quest giver system, create the light spell, model some scenery, have a little play with shaders to see what I can do for this stylized kind of look. We'll see. We're just going to keep working on it. But I think the one thing I really want right now is suggestions from people. And then also I might make a registration kind of thing at some point for people who want to take part in the playtesting. And then maybe through our website that we're working on at the moment, we can have it so you can get the download through there, and then you can give feedback. We'll make like a survey that you complete when you've done it or whatever. The kind of things that I want people to test when I do it is UI scaling on different monitors, because I have kind of messed around a bit with the editor. Where is it? Like the editor. Just on my other screen. The ratios, the aspect ratios, but the problem is it's not always very easy to get it working right in every single ratio. And also testing it, I need to take like screenshots and compare them and see what scaling works for what. So it's quite a bit of work for that. I'll also need to add settings before then for like different people to tweak graphic settings and scaling and windowed mode and everything. Just do it all through the settings menu. Same with key bindings, I'll add that to the settings menu. Oh, one sec. Okay, that's interesting. That's one other thing I haven't. So if I press escape when I'm in that part, it doesn't close it. Or it might. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a list after this video like I normally do with all the bugs I find during the video so that I can fix them all for the next video. Because you'll notice, every video I have bugs, and then the next one I fix them all, but then I find a whole new array of bugs, just loads to fix. Yay. But that's the fun of making games, right? Just fixing bugs. Yeah, I think I've mentioned everything. So we've got consumables, this, that, the other. Well, another thing I need to do is just do lots of kind of management on my scripts, because sometimes when you work and just keep adding new features, you kind of stray off from doing like good, manageable, best practice code. There's a lot of stuff that I could like make better or more efficient or easier to manage that I should definitely do before making too much new stuff. So my goal right now should be like it should be to like fix bugs from video. Then it should be like rather than this, it should be just refactor code. Before I even carry on, I need to do those things, but yeah, I hope you like how it's coming along. Obviously, yeah, as I keep saying, please leave suggestions and opinions on what I should do. Obviously, just because you say something doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to do it, but I look at every comment and take it into consideration if it's a good idea or not, and whether I think it'll work. But in the last video, I did have some pretty good suggestions with the spell, and I might actually try and make that soon just to see what we can do, because I feel like I could make something that looks pretty cool. I'm in half-term holidays now, so I have time to actually work on that a bit. So within the next few days, or maybe by the end of my half-term holidays, I'll do another update video showing what I've got done by then, and hopefully there's quite a bit. My plans by the end is to have the NPC system working, at least having like maybe a vendor inventory, and I don't know about quests, because making the whole quest system and the vendor system with all these stuff I've got to do too, it might not be possible in that time, but we'll see. I'll add like the save point thing to this so that I don't have to have a save game like object. It can be through NPCs, but I could still leave it in so that I can game save. We'll see. But yeah, I think I've actually done everything and said everything now. As I said, yeah, we've got different kinds of arrows. So the blue ones, yeah, I need to fix that slot, but the blue arrows are just default ones, and then the red ones do burn damage over time, and I'm gonna add like poison ones and so on. So we'll add different damage over times, damage types, enemy weaknesses. I'll end up adding a like panel for you to check enemy resistances and stuff. So like a Pokedex, whatever you call them, like bestiaries or something. Like a list of all the creatures you've come across and descriptions on them. Maybe I'll have it so if you kill a certain amount of an enemy, then you unlock knowledge about it or something. Just things over time to keep adding and adding before we start building the story up. But I think it's coming along well. Obviously, leave your opinions. I keep saying this. I'll end the video now before it goes on too long. But yeah, thanks for watching and goodbye.